World Polio Day, observed October 24th every year, is dedicated to honoring the monumental efforts to eradicate one of humanity's most feared diseases, reflecting on decades of tireless work by healthcare heroes, scientists, governments, and communities worldwide, witnessing polio cases plunge by over 99% since the launch of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in 1988. Nigeria Today will explore the triumphs and challenges of delving into groundbreaking vaccinations and examining the intricate partnerships driving the historic quests. The theme for the 2025 World Polio Day is Finishing the Job, Our Legacy for Polio-Free World. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Today. I am Ikaria Clinton. Now, with me in the studio to talk about the polio and, of course, Nigeria's push to finish the job is Dr. Usman Gana Abdulkadir. He's the National Incident Manager, Polio Emergency Operations Center. It's a pleasure to have you in Nigeria today.
Thank you for having me.
Also with us for this conversation is Joshua Hassan, Chairman, Nigeria National Polio Plus Committee, Rotary International. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'll start with you, Joshua. Before I come to Dr. Abdulkadir, you know, I know Rotary has always been at the forefront in the fight against polio, in the fight to eradicate polio. Now, how would you describe the Nigerian journey so far, you know, since we were declared polio-free in 2020?
Well, the journey has been good. So far, we are battling to make sure that all the children get vaccinated. What we would think is that somebody's vaccination or disease is one-off. It's like malaria, it goes and comes. But prevention is better than cure. And therefore, in the Rotary world, we support routine immunization. The children are always taken to the nearest primary health care for routine immunization. And the routine immunization has improved because it used to be 1, 2, or 3 days away, but now all the working days are there. So we support primary health care institutions nationwide. Wherever there's a Rotary Club, they are always near a primary health care to support it, and that's why we call ourselves the Polio Plus. The Polio Plus doesn't mean biscuits. It means that we are concentrating in eradicating polio, and we support all the other pluses or the other antigens or the other children killer diseases. And therefore, it is a war that we've won halfway, but we want the routine immunization to reach a level of at least over 80%. But unfortunately, as we speak, there are many states, there are quite a few states that their routine immunization level is less than 10%, where in other places, so technically speaking, it is, and to us in Rotary, a child or anywhere that is not satisfied while polio free or where there's polio there, no any child is safe because it can travel by all sorts of means, physics, waterways, you know, and all that type of thing. So it has been a worthwhile fight, and we know that we are going to see the end of ending polio so that we can channel our resources to other diseases in future.
Thank you, Joshua. Dr. Abdulkadir, if you look at the theme for this year's World Polio Day, it says finishing the job, our legacy for polio-free world. How does it resonate with Nigeria?
Okay. For us as a country, we are putting all efforts to ensure that we stop transmission as soon as possible. Since Nigeria was declared world polio-free in August of 2020, we put in a lot of mechanisms to ensure that the world polio does not come again. So some of the things we do to sustain the gains of the declaration of world polio-free, we are now trying to be ahead of the virus. We always want to be in front of the virus as opposed to chasing the virus. So by this we mean anytime we have a notification, there's an isolate somewhere, we go there, investigate, and ensure that we do an immediate response so as to contain the virus in that environment without it moving out of that place to another geography. So we continue in that geography. Also, we do what we call targeted local responses. Anywhere we have an information that is a polio virus that has been detected, we go there and ensure that we do a mini campaign in that, and that's what we call targeting that particular area to ensure that we calm the virus. And of course, we also have our supplemental immunizations that we do on, that we plan every year, maybe depending on the risk assessment in the country, we plan for either 2 national rounds or 2 subnational rounds. We also, aside from this, we also do what we call in-between run activities. By this we mean after each campaign, there may be some children that we miss for whatever reason. Either they are not in the homes or their parents reject, or because of insecurity we are unable to reach those areas. So we come back in between the rounds and ensure that we have a list of all those areas that we're unable to reach, and during the in-between activities we use the opportunity to close the gap that we, so these are the things we are really doing to ensure that we sustain the aims of declaration of why polio free. Thank you.
Okay, so Joshua, you you said earlier that there are some states that are still having about 10% of vaccination. You mentioned that. So what are some of the challenges that we experience generally in trying to ensure that children are vaccinated to in this fight against the polio?
Well, like we said, as a Rotary, we're an NGO volunteer mechanism. We're volunteers. We are not in government, so we can say it the way it is. If I should copy our former boss, Tony Radio, just say it the way it is. You see it and you think at it, but you see the colorization from those who are working there, you don't want to shake the table. It's different. We see it. Basic hygiene is key, and then basic hygiene starts from water. Rotary, we try to provide potable water and core environment, drainage system, and the rest of them. So, like the doctors and the doctors will say that these are the basic things I will say. Of course, ignorance. And when you pass all these lies that vaccine is not good and all that, and somebody, we've gone to the field, and you'll be surprised. You're trying to help somebody who you think that needs vaccine or something. He tells you that that is not his problem, and he's sick. He said that he prefer rice or atampa. Now, what do you do to that? Do you walk away, or do you try to convince him that it's the benefit? Because if he's sick, and that continues and the virus goes, you don't know how it will affect you. And I can tell you a personal story that these diseases do not know boundaries of high rise, low rise, big man, and co. I have a personal friend who was risen through the hierarchy of service and politics. Our neighbors. And his son was hit up to today. So what do you say about that? But you see, they don't know that the ones you see are the children crawling on the street, or the ones that don't even go to the hospital and die, and all this stuff. So it's a whole big issue. And governments have to look at it holistically. But then they have a lot of challenges. So what do? We also lobby and plead with the private sector, the corporate sector, to find a way you can help. And you don't have to help big. Any little thing you can do goes a long way to help. So basic education too is important. So that ties in. So when you are talking of health, it is a whole big ball game that needs every person coming in and everybody doing his bit to make sure that we move forward and get a healthier family.
Yes, Dr. Abdulkadir, yes, Nigeria has been declared a polio-free since 2020, August 2020 to be precise. Yeah. But again, we understand that there is another variant of this polio that is still, the one that was eradicated was a wild polio, yes. And now we have another variant. And now we're talking about finishing the job, which is eradicating polio totally from the country. So what is being done really to ensure that we achieve this, this goal?
Okay, thank you, Nigeria. So I want to put on record again that Nigeria has been certified wild polio free, as you rightly say, in August of 2020. We don't have any wild polio virus in Nigeria as at present. All we have is a variant of the polio, just like in COVID, where we had the original COVID and then we now had a variant. So that is what we are having. So what happens is...
No, before you go further, is the variant not as deadly as the wild polio?
Yes, it is not as deadly, but it can also cause paralysis.
Okay.
In children.
I just want you to clarify
yes,
that.
And that is why we are handling it as if it is wild polio virus, and we're not relenting on our house to ensure that we stop the transmission. Because if any child is affected, it could also cause paralysis. So after the certification, a lot of things we've been doing. How do you get this variant? Is areas where you have poor routine immunization, poor sanitation. So the virus, when it's in your body, over time it mutates because there's no herd immunity in the community and also the individual. So because over time it mutates and then changes into another variant that we call the circulating variant poliovirus. And this could also cause paralysis. So since the identification of that, another vaccine was introduced called the novel oral poliovirus type 2, NOPV2, to mitigate against this virus. So this is what we are currently using. So in 2021, that was when we had the highest surge of the circulating variant after we've withdrawn the TOPV. So in that year, we had almost about 1,028 detections of circulating variant poliovirus. But I want to announce that as at this week, week 41, we only have 61 isolates compared to 109 in the same period of 2024.
When you say isolate, what are you talking about?
That's the virus that were detected.
Okay.
Yes, that's the terminology we use.
Okay.
So currently, as of 41, this week we have 61 detections compared to 109 that we had in 2024. Okay. So we have currently, as of 41, a 44% decrease compared to what we had in 2024. So we are really making progress, and we are doing all it takes to ensure that we stop this transmission. Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll take a short break now. This conversation will continue shortly. Don't go away.
The implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that are questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that they are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we are looking at polio, eradicating polio totally, looking at the Nigeria's push to finishing the job. I have two gentlemen here in the studio for this conversation. Now, Joshua, you talked about misinformation actually, about people not having the right information about the vaccination. Now, what exactly, I know Rotary is doing quite a lot. I wouldn't, because nobody can deny that. Rotary is doing quite a lot in that regard. So you tell us what you're doing more to ensure that people get the right information. Because I've had people say, no, don't take the vaccination. It is a way that they want to do this, they want to do that. Telling you, sometimes you're surprised at what people are saying, some educated people for that matter. So let alone you now come and think about people in the rural areas. Okay, if the educated people are sounding like that, what about people at the rural areas? So what are you doing to ensure that this information is
You're thinking what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even your question, sir, I like it. You'll be surprised that some of the rejection comes more from the high brow. You got all this your estate, they are gated. Meanwhile, there are houseboys and nannies inside, and the gate you can't enter. You don't have anyone to go inside and immunize. Some of them are the worst. Big churches, big mosques with very influential people stop that. If you can recollect the problem that stopped us, that we didn't get our certification in time in Kano, go and find out. NTA was involved. The big names that were creating that. But you see, what Rotary does is to be the person on the streets and go to the grassroots. Only very few states that you don't have Rotarians or Rotary clubs. And we go to the field, we go one-on-one and talk to people. Like the balance, you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. But you go there and put it. And sometimes when you talk to these people one-on-one, you'll be surprised that they accept it. They may reject it from somebody else, and somebody like Rotarians, they come and tell you, then they look at you and all that, and they say, I don't have anything at stake other than we live happily and live peacefully. So we are there on today is World Polio Day. We have big issues, all the state capitals, the countries. There are walks, creating awareness, talking, having opportunity like invite us to tell the public that, look, we have to be each other's keeper and keep our children and the country safe. It works. And you discover that there are some people that when you talk to, they will reject. But they go and do their own search on you. They say, who is that guy talking? And if they discover that you're just simple like a Dr. Ghana doing on his own business, he's not asking you for any money and go there, they change their mind and they start looking for you, but they don't know your name. Until they see somebody wearing a shirt with polio, they say, oh, you are one of them. Come here. I go to places and I wear this shirt. They say, oh, Mr. Polio. They don't know my name. And I say, who is Mr. Polio? They're not talking of polio vaccine. They see Mr. Polio as the people helping the health issue. You who, like him here, we were in all the 6 area councils, we had groups, we had these visiting district governors from all over the country. I was amazed when we went to one of the primary health center in the city, Amak. You see the place, it needs a lot of improvement, but government has this. So what are we doing? Right on the spot there, people went out to close the small shop to buy small things for the children who stop crying and how to receive the vaccine. And the club was looking at the water system and say, this place needs a bigger solar-powered water system. It's a hospital, for goodness sake, and all that. But government can't do it. But they have this. And so we are what we call us grassroots volunteers that go from hospitals and work with the health workers. And in fact, when we're doing campaigns, we like following them to make sure that we assist in any way that we can. In fact, even the health sector is beginning to see that the NGOs at the grassroots level have a way of helping. So we are there. We won't get tired of doing it, and we will escalate and make sure that we achieve the desired goal.
Okay, Dr. Abdulkadir, he mentioned something about the hospitals and healthcare systems and all of that. So, how far would you say our states are thriving in ensuring that polio is eradicated in the country? Because it's all hands on deck at the end of the day.
So as you rightly said, to eradicate polio is not a one-sector affair. It's a multi-sectoral affair. You really have to, collaborate. We have to involve the media, just like we are now, to sensitize the community. We have to involve the Ministry of Women Affairs, youths, education, and all that, because we have children in the education ministry. So as a program, we ensure that anytime we're going to have any campaign, all the stakeholders are part and parcel of our planning, up to the implementation aspect. So that we, for example, if we have issues around school rejections, we meet with the PTAs, the proprietors of schools, and also went to the education ministry even before to start. We're going to have a campaign and all that. So really, it's a multi-sectoral thing. It's not just the Ministry of Health. It's everyone, and all hands must be on deck.
And the traditional rulers too.
Yes,
and the religious leaders.
Everybody's. It could be market women, you know, polio group survivors, those that had the problem, so that people will see firsthand the damage polio does. So we use them through our campaigns, you know, to show people that see, because I didn't take this vaccine, this is what I have. If you don't take, you might be like me, or would you want to be like me? So it really helps us a lot, the polio survivors. And just like I said, that they had a para soccer today at the old playground, just to show that with disability, there's also an ability.
So, Joshua, now can you please, you know, talk to the people, because now we are sensitizing people. Talk to the people the importance of taking this vaccine when they come to them, because I see them going around, you know, for this vaccination, the polio vaccination, and some people, some persons will be closing their gate, locking their gate, and you know, they'll be turning away from taking this vaccine.
You see, the new technologies has helped. If I open my arm here, you can see the mark that I was vaccinated. Don't ask me how old I am. But at that time, the vaccine, this thing looks like a small AK-47. And they put you there, you have to do, I still have the mark there. Vaccination is key. Vaccines are safe. And they are for the protection of the children. It improves their immune body to be stronger, so that when these diseases come, it doesn't hit them. It is preventive measure. So when you refuse it, you will really. Even I have a sister who cooks. He said, pay the cook more than the doctor. And the same thing with vaccines. If you get your children vaccinated against all the 6 deadly or more diseases, and the immunity of the child is strong, you will not fall inside. There's no hype inside that you can't touch my child, I have to go to national hospital or to private hospital. It's the same vaccine. And government has assisted with the NGOs. Vaccines are free. You don't pay for it. So anyone trying to say that you have to pay for it it's not a prank. It is criminal. It is free. So get your children out there to get vaccinated. And I can tell you, getting vaccinated, go to the nearest place to be vaccinated. Stop playing big. When I was lying in the hospital and they put you in the VIP wing, you know that is problem. When you are in the normal ward, even if the nurse sleep off, your neighbor will scream, and someone say, when you are alone, they are locked up. You are on your own, though. It is the company. So get our children, our grandchildren to be vaccinated. Let them be protected against the killer diseases. It's the way forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joshua. So, Dr. Abdulkadir, your message, just 30 seconds now. 30 seconds.
Okay. So I want to say that polio does not have cure, but it can be prevented. It can be prevented by just 2 drops of the oral polio vaccine. The vaccine is safe, cost-effective, and free. We want to call on parents, caregivers, to ensure that they take their children to health facilities for routine immunizations, and they also avail their children during campaigns to get these 2 drops only of the oral poliovirus to protect their children from getting paralyzed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Usman Ghana Abdulkadir, National Incident Manager, Polio Emergency Operations Center. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kira, for having me.
And Joshua Hassan, Chairman, Nigeria National Polio Plus Committee, Rotary International. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And thank you for being part of the program. I am Ikaria Clinton. Goodbye.